The following is a presentation of Golden Boy Media and Entertainment.
This whole thing started at a charity event with us facing off. And I said, hey, let me get a picture with my camera. I'm gonna post this just for fun. And just said, why not, was the caption. But it sparked the fact that I wasn't done fighting. I didn't leave the sport the way I wanted to. I've been missing the sport since I left. So I started getting back in shape and my body started responding. Then I started seeing all the stuff from people telling me that you're too old, stay retired, you can't do this. You can't tell me I can't do something. I'm gonna prove you wrong. I can do whatever I put my mind to. And I know when I'm done fighting.
I was on Bite the Mic with Mike Tyson, and Liddell called me out on social media saying, I'll kick Tito Ortiz's ass, I'm coming out of retirement. And I was like, really? I go, I know Oscar's a smart businessman. I wonder if Golden Boy would like to be a part of a Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell 3.
The next week I was in a meeting with Oscar. I said, I think I can get Chuck Liddell to the table. I text Chuck, he says, I'm down. Next week, Chuck Liddell's in a meeting with Oscar. The fight was done.
I wanted to go big. I wanted to go with the two biggest names in the sport and give them an opportunity. Nobody else would give them an opportunity. Imagine that.
I'm trying to help Chuck out. If he needs money that bad, I'm trying to help him out.
Tito says he's doing me a favor. I don't need him for this. I don't need him to get back on the main stage. He needs me. He knows that. This fight doesn't happen without me. I'm doing him a favor. I hate to do him a favor, but I really am going to enjoy knocking him out.
This is the story of two legendary warriors.
Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz represent two of the most celebrated fighters in the history of combat sports.
This is the story of redemption.
It's about getting an opportunity to fighting somebody that used to be my friend.
This is Mano a Mano. November 24th, the battle lines are drawn.
Two of the most celebrated fighters in the history of combat sports.
Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
Nothing left to prove. I just don't like him.
The Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz.
I get redemption and get to knock this guy's mohawk off.
This is War. Liddell versus Ortiz 3. War's End. Streaming live on Ring TV, November 24th.
I was born December 17th, 1969 in Santa Barbara, California. I was a pretty good kid, but when I was in, I think it was kindergarten or first grade, I was getting beat up pretty much every day. Actually taking my lunch money, which sounds kind of funny, but it was what they were doing. And the principal called my mom into the office and she said, I asked your son why he doesn't fight back. And he said, you don't allow him to. I mean, if you don't let him defend himself, it's not gonna stop. So my mom said, okay, you're not allowed to start a fight, but you're allowed to finish it. And she sent me to my grandfather, and he started teaching me how to box. And the rest is history. I became a pretty good street fighter.
When they're born, they're already a championship fighter. They just have to connect with the tools and the people that can guide them through, because that's not something that you can make. That's something that's just who you are. It's inside of you.
I grew up in Huntington Beach. Life was normal. About the age of 6, my dad didn't get surgery. They put him on morphine. And when he got out of the hospital, he still had the addiction to morphine. His brother actually introduced him to heroin. And life pretty much went downhill after that. We lived in motels, cars, trailer parks. From 6 to 13, I was in and out of gangs.
I seen some really bad things. I seen my friends get shot and killed. I seen my parents using drugs. I've used drugs, but I was able to break the mold. I was able to break the chain and to show that with hard work and dedication, you can achieve a lot of great things in life. There used to be a dock down the harbor a little bit, and we used to fish here about 13 years old, and I told my buddies one day I'm gonna own a house here, and I was 12, 13 years old. And they're like, shut up and bait the hook. I go, no, really, one day I'm gonna own a house here. And in 2009, I was able to purchase my home. I just manifested it and became reality. Just hard work pays off, and I just never stopped working and just dream.
Tito's history growing up is such a sordid tale. I really admire him for the man that he's become, the fighter he's become, the father he's become, because he really had no one teaching him any of those things.
People ask me if I wanted to do this since I was a kid or whatever. I mean, it didn't exist when I was in high school. And the funny thing was, back in high school, I used to say, you know, what really sucks is the one thing I'm really good at, I can't make money doing. And what I was talking about was street fighting.
He never lost in the street, and I think that him never being afraid, regardless of size, that type of confidence is so scary for anyone on the other side that I think it's been instrumental in his fighting career, in his success.
As a kid, I always thought I was gonna be a professional wrestler, and I always told my mom, Mom, one day, my name's gonna be in big bright lights, gonna say Tito Ortiz. It's kind of manifested in my mind. I started my freshman year at Huntington Beach High School. I found wrestling, or wrestling found me. My senior year, I was a terror and got the full ride at junior college. I won the state that year as a freshman.
Okay, Tito.
And I put my nose to the grindstone, and I worked, and I worked, and I worked, winning match after match after match.
Come on, Tito. Yeah.
So I got the call, May 30th, 1997. Got my first chance to fight in the UFC. I fought Wes Albritton and stopped him in 22 seconds. And a star was born that night. I loved it.
My name's Tito Ortiz.
A guy that wants to be a champion more than life itself. It's what makes a championship fighter. Most importantly, it's to want the desire.
Right. Let the show begin. I think what drives Chuck is something inside of him. It's the I can, I will, and I do. And he's one of a kind. 1, 2, 1, 2, go.
I've been doing martial arts since I was a kid. I kept doing karate all through college. Then I started kickboxing. And I was gonna continue trying to follow that step. And someone asked me from the stand, hey, do you want to fight in the UFC? Of course I do, I want to fight in the UFC. And I fought in UFC 17. So it was a pretty quick advance to fighting professionally. Ah! And now I'm back. And I got a chance to do this for me. Come back and finish my career the way I want to finish it.
The battle lines are drawn.
Two of the most celebrated fighters in the history of combat sports.
November 24th.
I have nothing left to prove. I just don't like him.
History will be made.
I get the opportunity to get redemption, get my hand raised, and knock this guy's mohawk off.
Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
This guy is getting knocked out, and I am going to enjoy it.
The Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz.
He wants to come out of retirement and call me out. I get the opportunity to put him out once and for all.
This,
Oh my goodness!
is War. Catch all the action and exclusive content at ringtv.com. Liddell versus Ortiz 3 at ringtv.com, the official online pay-per-view. War's End, November 24th.
And it was an opportunity for us at Golden Boy Promotions. People sense the hatred they have towards each other. They don't like each other. I think it's going to call for a great fight.
This match against Chuck Liddell, yes, is about revenge. It's about redemption. It's about getting an opportunity to fighting somebody that used to be my friend, that was a close friend of mine, that sold out on me because he wanted to go with the company. Now all of a sudden, 10 years later, the company dumped him and he has to fight.
Tito's got a heart, and Tito, he wasn't looking like he wanted to hurt Chuck Liddell in his first fights. He still had the thoughts of their friendship and how close they got.
I'd be hard-pressed to find one text message where he talked to me or invited me to something that didn't have to do with business for him. I mean, I don't remember him ever invite me to a movie or a barbecue or anything like that. I mean, I didn't know we were that tight. I don't remember us having any deep conversations about anything. So I don't know how he considered us good friends, so good that we couldn't fight each other.
I was there at the beginning, and they were friends. So the nonsense story of they were never friends and all of that is total BS. They were friends. They hung out. Chuck was part of Team Punishment. I mean, he wore the T-shirts. He was in the corners.
I don't like him. I don't like the person he is. I don't like the way he treats people. Tito is Tito. That's not an act. He's an ass. I'm a man of principle. I can't even fathom being friends with a guy like him. He's the type of guy I despise.
I spoke my mind. I said the truth, and I talked trash. I want to get in their brain. All of a sudden, when it comes fight time, they forget about the game plan. They want to murder me and take my head off, make mistakes. Ali was the best at doing it. It was entertainment. I'm trying to sell pay-per-view. I'm just trying to sell tickets.
It's real simple. I don't like you, you don't like me. Let's go into the ring. Let's see who the better man is. And Chuck has done that 2 times in a row, and I think the 3rd time is going to be a charm.
Their styles just create a magical fight, a fight that we don't want to miss.
Chuck thinks he's getting in there with a guy that he knows, and then when he's been in there in the past. So these two were close at one point in their lives. You know, they had a relationship.
Tito was a training partner. I was a training partner. I think people make it out to be more than it was. I think we sparred together about 10 different times, I think, over a couple years.
Me and Chuck Liddell, we became the first Team Punishment. We had fight cards, and those were the first fight cards that MMA ever had. He'd come down to Huntington Beach, train with me. I'd go up to San Luis Obispo, train with him. I care for my friends. I want to look out for my friends. He was down training in my house, sitting on my couch, picking his feet. My wife at the time comes down. I was like, why is Chuck sitting picking his feet on my couch? I was like, don't worry about it. He's my training partner. He's cool. I was like, Chuck, dude, don't do it on my couch. He's like, sorry, Tito.
Now, I know if you listen to him, talk to him, he talks like he took me off the street, taught me how to fight, fed me, let me sleep on his couch, and I turned on him. Well, I slept on his couch because he didn't have a room for me, or he didn't want to get me a hotel room when I was coming around sparring with him. So I was being nice and sleeping on his couch. I ate food because that's what they had.
And when me and Chuck was training each other, and I was like, you gotta understand, Chuck, at some point we're gonna have to fight each other. I go, they're gonna make a lot of money off of us. They're gonna make over $42 million on this fight. Why don't we hold out and make sure that we get paid really good sums of money for this? I mean, look at the boxers now. They're making $10, $15 million a fight. We're fighting for $80,000. This is pennies. He's like, oh, I don't care. I just want to fight. I just want to fight. That's all I care about. I care about knocking guys out. That's all I care about. Like, Chuck, what are we gonna do when we're 40 years old, man? I mean, are we gonna still be fighting for pennies? Or are we gonna be fighting for great money? I'm just telling you, we should hold out. It's like, all right, if it ever happens, we will. I was like, sure, dude? Yeah, whatever.
I think the fact that it came time to fight me started the beef. I mean, he jumped in the ring and said, after I won a fight, to say he was gonna kick my ass. And then when it came time to do it, I don't know if I wanna do this.
He was the first big name before Chuck Liddell. He had the look, he had the attitude, he had the charisma, he had it all going, and he had the ability, and he had the want, the desire to be the biggest thing on the planet and the baddest fighter on the planet. So he did a lot for MMA, did a lot for the fighters at MMA.
I was their golden boy. It was great. I would continue to win. I was defending my world championships, and you could see the jealousy that Chuck had because he wasn't pushed forward to being the champion. And then him and Dana had their little ideas behind closed doors, and all of a sudden, Chuck hated me. I was like, bro, we've been sparring with each other for the last 5 years. Why is this coming out all of a sudden? And I come to realize I was getting undermined by Dana.
Outside of the cage, the dynamics were definitely, in his opinion, against him. And he was trying to convince Chuck to hold out to make more money, and Chuck wasn't complying, so he basically had to give in to the UFC's demands because they were just saying that he was scared and a chicken, and he really had no choice.
Hey, it's on. I'm a fighter. Let's do it.
And I said, you know what? The hell with it. I'll give you fans what you want. I want to fight this guy for pennies. And I fought him, and he stopped me. I think it was in the first round.
Tito can beat this guy. Tito can walk this guy down. Tito's a bigger, stronger, faster guy than this guy. He really is. He just, you know, at the end of the day, he's stuck in the mud on his fights with him.
That fight was over, but that rivalry still stayed, and I wanted an opportunity to get it back. I ended up going on a 4-fight win streak, and I got an opportunity to fight Chuck Liddell for his world title. And at the time, I had met Jenna Jameson. My mind wasn't right. I was so worried about our relationship that I wasn't worried about my fight game. I fought Chuck, and he beat me. I think it was in the 3rd round. I made a few mistakes, and that was a long time ago. And I'm a different person, different man, totally different human being from when I was then to now, even a different fighter. And Liddell's banking on me being that same fighter.
He's not going to be stuck in the mud on this fight. He's going to be going forward. He's going to put this guy in the back, and he's going to get him out of there. I mean, that's just the facts.
The battle lines are drawn.
Two of the most celebrated fighters in the history of combat sports.
November 24th.
I have nothing left to prove. I just don't like him.
History will be made.
I get the opportunity to get redemption, get my hand raised, and knock this guy's mohawk off.
Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
This guy is getting knocked out, and I am going to enjoy it.
The Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz.
He wants to come out of retirement and call me out. I get the opportunity to put him out once and for all.
This,
Oh my goodness!
is War. Catch all the action and exclusive content at ringtv.com. Liddell versus Ortiz 3 at ringtv.com, the official online pay-per-view. War's End, November 24th.
Can Chuck Liddell do it one more time? Or is Tito Ortiz as good as he looks? That's the question. People always remember legends, and these two guys are living legends.
I'm in better shape and just a better place mentally. I mean, I'm fighting for my family, fighting for my kids, my wife. When that's your motivation, it's hard to stop you.
This is all for them. And they feel he's like the toughest guy in the world. They don't have any fear when he's around. Monsters don't matter. He's happy because he is grounded, and I kind of help bring that grounded element into the picture. I have my eyes on everything that's going on in his life, and I'm behind him 100%, and I know that he feels that. And I think that it's made a huge difference, and he's gonna nail it.
I've seen enough of the coverage where people are saying, like, it's not a good idea, that you're too old. Dana White was against it. The way I see it is if the choice is between fighting at 48 or, like, not doing what you love, f it, man. Get brain damage.
Hey, man, that was the thing that I loved about the California Commission. They said, hey, look, we've got extensive medicals that he's required to do if he passes them, and he's healthy enough to fight, he can fight. It's up to him.
For all the people I've heard say it's a bad idea, they all said they'll definitely be watching.
Got that going for us.
Chuck was asked to retire, and he's not done. He has unfinished business. And if you look at the shape he's in, he's not done. He's not ready. Everybody's going to see on November 24th how bad Chuck Liddell really wants it.
Stay where you're at. Don't come forward. Step. Boom.
I'm here to end my career the way I want to end it. And that's not necessarily this fight. I mean, I want another 3 or 4 fights. I want to keep fighting. I want to prove that I can still fight.
He's done.
I could never think of one thing about fighting I didn't miss. I like training. I like going to the gym every day. I like cutting weight, getting ready for a fight, because to me, that means when I make weight, I get to fight the next day. And I love walking out of the ring, and I love fighting.
Been doing this a long time, and this is my life. This is what I love to do.
My job is to knock Chuck Liddell out. That's my goal. 6 days a week, 3 times a day, 6 hours a day. I push myself to the limit each and every day.
I do 500 sit-ups, and then after my 500 sit-ups, Jason can hit me 100 times to the stomach as hard as he wants. So I just try to push myself that hard every time I train. Because when I get in the cage and I fight against another person, I want to make sure that I prepared for the worst so the best can happen.
No pain, baby.
This fight is everything to him. I've never seen him more motivated or in better shape.
I was in retirement. I have 4 of the companies I'm working on. I've been challenged. I've been challenged by Chuck Liddell.
I train now about 2.5, 3 hours a day, about 5 days a week. But the most important part about the day, and it becomes more important as you become older, is recovery. And I spend as much time doing recovery now as I do working out.
This is basically our cool down device. It's sort of like a portable cryo chamber using electrical stimulation while it's freezing his tissues down to minus 15 degrees.
I've been more energized, more alive since I started training for this fight than I have in the last 8 years.
Age is just a number. You take care of yourself as an athlete. If you're disciplined, if you're focused, you can last till you're 51 years old. Like Bernard Hopkins, who crowned himself the world champion at that age.
I feel better now when I'm 43 than I was 34, and been able to get the training that I want, but I think it's just the mindset, the surrounding at home. I'm in a positive environment at home. My girlfriend, Amber, helps me take care of my children and is like a mother to them.
So I really think that Tito's the happiest and the most focused I've ever seen him before a fight. I really attribute that just to the calm and the peace in our house. That's where I come in to making sure that he feels, the love and he feels content and he has nothing to worry about. He has nothing to worry about at home. All he has to worry about is his fight game.
I'm so hungry.
I think I'm gonna go out of the box and have a burrito today.
Yeah?
So what do you guys think of Daddy fighting again? Awesome. You're excited? What makes you excited about it? Money. Money?
Tito Ortiz is a master at taking you down, but he's also a big boy.
He's strong for the weight class, and where Tito's good is on top. If Tito's on your back and he's dropping elbows on you, grounding and pounding you, he's as good as they come.
What makes him dangerous is that he's young. He's young and full of energy.
I remember back in the days watching him taking people down and just smashing their face, and elbows and punches was unbelievable. He's really, really strong. When he gets you down and he starts running and pound, you feel it.
He's been staying active all these years, too. I mean, Tito fought a year and a half ago. It's not like he's been sitting on the couch retired.
Tito has been knocked out by Chuck in 2 fights in a row. I don't see anything any different in this third fight. Chuck's gonna be Chuck.
Well, your style has always just been like, there's not like a lot of like subtlety in your fighting, right? You're just coming at him and...
Well, there is and there isn't. I set people up. I try to, the whole time I'm trying to figure you out, make you make a mistake. And then once I get you to make a mistake, I jump on you.
When he lures you in and you feel like you're close enough to grab him, you're also close enough to get hit. When Chuck hits you once, all he's got to do is touch him, the fight's over.
In boxing, I learned that, yes, you can get old, but you never lose your power. And that one punch can knock you out. People can say Chuck Liddell's older and this and that, and he's slower, but he still has that sledgehammer that he can knock anybody out with.
He says he's gonna strike with me. I don't think so. He's gonna try to wrestle, but he's gonna have a hard time taking me down. If he does, I'll get back up. But when we're gonna go on our feet, and he's gonna take a lot of shots.
Good, man.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
This isn't for a championship. This is for redemption. This is for an opportunity to beat somebody that beat me twice. And people don't think I have a chance. But on November 24th, I'm gonna show how vicious I truly am. As I stand up with Chuck Liddell, he's knocked out unconscious on the canvas.
They hate each other so much that they will not lose to the other. And I think when they go in there, it's gonna be to the death. Hopefully nobody dies, but I think that when you got 2 guys competing to that level, it's definitely gonna be exciting.
I'm like, damn, man, I'm gonna feel bad if he break Tito's neck. I don't want no harm like that. I just want him to be humble.
It's mostly about Chuck coming back, and Tito happens to be the guy that everybody wants to see him beat up.
I think Chuck Liddell is banking on Tito being mentally weak. The moment Tito grabs his hands on him and he feels Tito's physical strength, he's gonna realize that he made a big mistake coming back.
I hope I get the best Chuck Liddell. He thinks that I'm gonna be a walkthrough. He thinks I'm a tune-up fight. On November 24th, he's gonna realize a 43-year-old Tito Ortiz is a dangerous one, because I'm like a dog being pushed in the corner, and I haven't eaten in a long time.
I would say Tito is the most in shape and focused that I've ever seen him. He's fighting someone who he now says, this is not my friend.
43 years old, he could be peaking very much in my eyes. He's hungry, his speed is there, his power is there, his balance is there, his reflexes is there. He's got everything in the tool shed right now, so I'm excited for this fight.
The Iceman's a guy that goes out there and everybody in the whole place knows he's looking for a finish. He's looking for a knockout, Everybody loves watching the Iceman fight. His legacy is going to be that every fighter has always and always will respect him.
I grew up watching Tito fight and seeing what he done for the sport. He's a legend. It's an honor for me to be a part of this team, to train with him every day.
These guys are fighting for passion. They're fighting for honor, for glory. For them, it's, I'm gonna go out there and kick your ass. We had to make this fight for the fans.
All I have to say is that I'm inspired and I want you to just crush it, dude.
Now, two celebrated champions who were born to fight are getting their chance to settle an old score.
Chuck Liddell, all this time, I thought we were friends. But at the end of the day, it just shows that you're nothing but a sellout. And on November 24th, I'm knocking your ass out.
Tito, I know you already know this. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna knock your ass out again.
Don't miss Liddell versus Ortiz 3, War's End, November 24th on pay-per-view.